master of disguise, spying, and investigating the strange and possibly strange going on in Big Forest. His favorite drink is chocolate milk, shaken, not stirred, and he is surprisingly a world-renowned Twister player. And we have a lovely picture of Agent Moose playing Twister. It is not easy for a moose to play Twister, let me know. It's a difficult thing. Right, his clearance for spying is first class. He is a top spy. Now, Alfred's designation is not quite so special Agent Alfred because he's a little bit newer to the game than Agent Moose is. His size is small enough that he can fit into a moose's pocket. His distinguishing features are he is gray, feathery, can do that weird owl thing where they twist their head mostly around, but it kind of makes him motion sick. His talents are his very precise analysis of clues and data, calm in a crisis, patient in a crisis, and basically good at avoiding crisis. His favorite drink is hot cocoa with extra chocolate, and his clearance for spying is third class. Oh, and there was a drawing of Agent, look, there's Agent Moose and Alfred getting all excited. So that is Agent Moose and Alfred, and we're gonna find out a little bit about them. I felt like I have somebody crashing the session today. He just kind of creeped in, so I'm just gonna take a second and show him to you. This is my cat Forrest. And he just
like he's wearing a tuxedo.
He's wearing a tuxedo. And I know, Jess, you're partial to, like, you know, animals that are dressed nicely and dapperly. So Forrest he just called in and decided to call him and fall asleep during the presentation. And so I thought I would just kind of introduce him there. So let's start. We are going to, I'm going to show you the screen, which has all the information on it. And there are all these cool things that you can do with Agent Moose as well. We're going to go through, I'm having some technical difficulties trying to get the screens to go forward and backward because in the presentation, we're going to have lots of pictures, but I can't get it to move. There we go. No, not moving.
Wonders of modern technology.
The wonders of modern technology. It is not moving. Okay, let's try. There we go. It's moving. Keep moving. There we go. There we go. There we go. So let's go back to the beginning. So that is Agent Moose. That's us. Yay. Mo and Jess. And this is
in my picture.
Your mystery is history with Agent Moose and Alfred on the case. And basically that's what they do. They are agents for Woodland HQ. And they go on missions and they solve using their mastery of disguise. Like you can see Agent Moose and Alfred, they're dressed as turtles for this one. They use their disguise to thwart evil and get past mysteries. Oh, but it looks like there's a message for us. This is from Madam HQ. Now she is the head of Woodland HQ, which is like the agency, like the spy agency. And that's her sitting there on the branch. She looks a little bit upset. Something big must have happened. Let me just read this. Agent Moose and Alfred, we have a special mission for you. Newt, the news Newt, has been newt-napped. We need you to find him right away. You might need some help to look for clues. You can deputize special junior agents to lend you a hand or a paw or a wing, whatever they have, just so that they can find Newt. Oh, wow. So we need to find Newt. Now, Newt is one of the team. He is a newspaper. He has a newspaper Newt. He is Newt who has a nose for news, and he likes to investigate things with Agent Moose and Alfred. Madam HQ said we could deputize you guys, so I was hoping, would you guys like to take the Woodland HQ Oath, and then you can be actual deputies of Woodland HQ? So there's just a couple of things you have to say, and you can repeat after me. I'll like leave time for you to say it. So the first thing you have to do is you have to put your hands up like they're antlers, right? So Jess, you're gonna do this too?
I was just gonna draw some antlers, but yes, I'll join in as well.
Okay, so repeat after me. This is the official Woodland HQ oath. And then once you've taken this oath, you're officially a deputy of Woodland HQ. Okay. I will do my best to be the best special agent I can be, to look for clues, to save other animals, and to totally moose this mission.
It's my favorite bit.
Do you think you can totally moose this mission? Now, let's go back to, let's see what we can do to see if we can find any clues. So I'm going to see if we can find any clues in the next slide. And it looks like it's going to be temperamental, taking me through the slide again. So there's going to be a picture, and it's going to be outside Agent Moose's office, and it's going to show us something that is a clue. Now, if I can get it to do it. There we go. Do you see anything in this picture that might look out of place? Can you see anything in this picture that might look out of place? If you can, type it into your comments, and then I'll know what the comments are. So if you see anything that doesn't look like it belongs and might be a clue to Newt's disappearance, then type it in the comments and I'll see if I can find it. Yeah. Oh, and I think Jess, if you look over at Jess, she is drawing what the Newt looks like. So that might give you a clue.
Also, one of my favorite characters.
I love Newt as well.
And my husband loves him too. He's my husband's
favorite. Look. So somebody has said the hat, and that is exactly right. So the hat is what is the clue. That's what's missing. So Newt never goes anywhere without his hat. It has to be that the hat is the clue. Okay, and I think Newt left it on purpose because Newt is a bit of a smart Newt. So I think he knew that he was being kidnapped or Newt-napped, and he did that on purpose. So let's see if we can get to the next one. Now, Agent Moose and Alfred are on this case, but you guys are great as deputies. You are helping us do this. So thank you very much. You have eagle eyes to spot stuff like that. Are there any actual eagles out there? Because that would be great. If there were actual eagles, that would be really cool. You could actually do that, but no. So it's still not letting me go on to the next one. It was the hat. Let's see. Was it letting me do anything? Yes, there we go. So the hat is the next one. So now let's go to the next slide. There we are. So in this slide, do you see anything? Now, Agent Moose and Alfred are heading in the right direction, but do you see anything that looks out of place there? Can you see anything? Anybody spot anything there? What's out of place in that one? Oh, Jess is drawing something else that might give you a clue. There is also a very nosy pigeon. I like the pigeon. The pigeon shows up in a lot of stuff. There's just like a nosy pigeon who just, and I think
everywhere. Is it one pigeon or is it lots of pigeons?
Oh, this is true. This is true. It could be like a whole gang of nosy pigeons. Right. So what do you think is near the pigeon that might give us a clue? And it might be something that Newt has left behind. If you think of it, type it in the chat or type it as your comments or whatever. The glasses? Ooh, it could, no, I don't think Newt wears glasses. Is there anything else? Look at the guy in the back. I think that's just somebody peeking out of the thing. Good guess though, because you can't ignore a suspect. Picking out all the suspects is very important. But think about Newt is a newspaper reporter. So what might he leave behind as a clue? Oh, I like the flower. I think Newt likes flowers, but he might not leave one behind because I think he would like them too much to leave them behind. Yeah, yeah. And someone might step on it and that kind of thing. But it could be something that he leaves behind because he is a newspaper reporter. He might leave something that he has on him. It looks like a book. I think if somebody says a book, I think it looks like a little bit like a book when we're seeing it. If you see it here, the newspaper. that on the ground there is a newspaper, just like the one Jess is drawing on now. She's doing a newspaper headline for it. So that is the newspaper, and that is our clue. That is our next clue in the thing, is the newspaper. So now we know for sure that Newt was Newt-napped, and he didn't go willingly because he would never leave his hat behind. We know that he left the newspaper behind as a clue, and it looks like they're heading towards the beach. The way that they're running looks like they're heading towards the beach. So if we follow them to the beach, maybe we'll get a third clue. Let's see if we can just follow them to the beach. One more, there we go. Yes. And Madam HQ is back. Agent Moose, have you found, or your deputies found Newt? She seems a little bit cross. But there's something behind her. Can you see in the sand? There are some marks behind her, and they look like they're leading off to the side. I think that might be a clue. What do you think? Type if you think that that might be a clue. And who could have made those tracks? Who could have made those tracks in the sand? Jess is drawing some stuff over there. Let's see if there's, because it looks like, look at the animals that are in the picture. There's a koala. I don't think the koala prints are like that. There's a flamingo. I don't think a flamingo would make footprints like that. A dog, someone said. A tiny dog. It could be like a tiny Chihuahua dog that would make like little, and it would jump. Doof, 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 doof. That could work. That could work, but I don't think there's any little tiny jumping Chihuahua dogs in big forest. A bear. There are definitely bears there, but I think a bear footprint would be like boom, boom, kind of massive. The other thing I noticed is that the footprints kind of go off to the side. What animal walks sideways? Like little tiny crawling. A crab!
Yes.
Yes. And there is Krabby the crab. I have seen a crab around this beach, and I am sure if we follow that crab, we are gonna find Newt, the news Newt. You guys are amazing. That is so good. Krabby the crab. Let's see if it is Krabby. That's it. I just wanted my name in the papers. That's why I took News the Newt, the news Newt. I wanted to be Krabby the crab that grabbed the headlines. But now you've ruined my plans. I'm out of here. Bye-bye, Agent Moose and Alfred. Oh no. Okay. We have to stop Krabby from running away. Now, I have an idea. You guys were really good at doing the antler salute and pretending to be Agent Moose, and when you did the oath. If you guys could all do your Agent Moose salute like that, pretend with your antlers, yeah? Then we could show Krabby, like trick him into thinking that we are all Agent Moose, right? And then he would be too scared to do anything. So, adopt the moose position. Get your antlers ready. And then I want you to repeat after me. And do it in like a big, loud, moosey voice, because moose have like really low voices because they're kind of big animals. So can we say, stop in the name of Agent Moose? Yes? Can we do that all together? Ready? Antlers at the ready. 1, 2, 3. Stop in the name of Agent Moose. All right, let's see if it worked. Let's see, we'll go back to Krabby. I'm pretty sure Krabby is gonna be so weirded out by that. He is gonna think that there are so many Agent Mooses around. He is not, look, I give up. There are too many Agent Mooses out there to escape from. How does he do that? Krabby the crab is foiled again. And look, Newt is free. This will be the front page of the News of the Wild. Thanks, Deputy Special Agents, says Newt. And look, he's taking a picture of them, and that's going to be on the front page. So I don't know if you guys spotted that Jess was doing loads and loads of drawings there while you guys were doing your deputy special agent things. One of the things that she's drawn are these cool badges so that you can actually download a deputy special agent badge and fill in your name or put your picture on it. And you can be a special agent in Big Forest in Woodland HQ, just like Agent Moose and Alfred. And I think Jess was gonna ask you guys if you wanted to do some drawing yourself, because a lot of you out there might be wanting to be illustrators, yeah, and wanting to do some stories. So I'm going to hand you over to Jess, and Jess is, oh, you might need a piece of paper and a pen. So I'm going to hand you over to Jess.
So what I thought I would do, awesome, yeah, you follow along too. So I've got my paper and my pen. I thought I'd show you how I draw Agent Moose and Alfred. And because when you draw comics, you end up drawing the same characters over and over and over and over again. And you get used to drawing them, and that there's a certain way I draw Agent Moose. So I thought you could follow along with me. So I always start with his ear. There's his ear, and he's a very dapper guy. He's got a very cool little tuft of hair, and this is one of my favorite parts. He's kind of got a head shaped a bit like a peanut. So you kind of go, there's his nose, it goes down about round, so it's almost like a peanut. And then his eyes, and he's a very cheerful chap, so I always love giving him a huge cheesy grin like that. And then I draw his other ear, and this is my other favorite bit, are his antlers, which I don't know what, they kind of almost look like a bit like a big comb, I guess. So I kind of do this, and this is the fun bit. So it's almost like a roller coaster kind of track. So you go up and like that. I always love doing that. And then the other side, 2, 3, and back around. That is Agent Moose, and because I've drawn him hundreds of times, it's kind of, you get a knack for drawing it. So I'll tell you what, I'll draw Alfred as well, who's my other favorite character, because he's so cute. He's such a cute character, and he's a little bit easier because he's made of very simple shapes, whereas Moose is a little bit more complicated. So I'll draw Alfred, draw a circle. And then we'll do his glasses. So he has 2 round eyes, his little pupils. And just do the legs of his glasses. So, although if they were there, I don't think they'd stay on his head, but it's a comic, so it's fine. And then he's got his little tufty ears. I love it when owls have those little ears. They're so sweet. And he's got a little, I guess would you say it was a bowler hat that Alfred wears, Mo?
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's quite a, I think he takes pride for his bowler hat there. Yeah. I think Alfred likes his dressing up. He has a good line in nice little sweaters too. He
does, although in England we call them jumpers.
Yes.
Which I don't know why. I don't know why there's a difference in sweater and jumper, but yes, he does like his lovely woolly sweaters.
Yeah, it's not like you jump in jumpers a lot. It's not like it's not a jumpy article of clothing. You don't go, hey, I'm gonna jump in my jumper. Yeah.
So there is Alfred, and I thought because he's kind of the star of the show, I'll draw Newt as well, who is my favorite. So I'll get a new piece of paper. So I always start with, again, there's so many dapper hats in this book.
I love the hats. I love the hats. And if you guys like a certain character, or you've spotted a character in any of the slides that you want just to try to draw, can you type it into the comments and stuff as well? Maybe you can see.
Its head.
Because that's great. You can. Or if you just went like I've got, so Jess.
Yes.
Can I ask a favor once you're done, Newt? Because I love Newt.
Yes.
Could you draw?
I'll put his arms behind his back so he's finished a bit quicker. There we go.
Could you draw my cat Forrest for me? And then maybe kids would want you to draw like a cartoon version of their pet.
Oh, I like drawing animals. So let me get another sheet of paper. I'll try this. Could be. There could be a bit of artistic license with this.
Yeah. So. Can you see Forrest? Can you see Forrest in your?
I can. I'll tell you what, I'll draw him how I would draw him in the Agent Moose book.
Okay, if he was a guest star, if Forrest was a guest star in Agent Moose, which he obviously wants to be. He obviously wants to be a spy. He would love to grow up to be a spy, wouldn't you, Forrest? Yeah.
And very stern.
There's a sneaky cat face.
And then black ears. I won't colour all of the face in just because I've got a very dark pen. But I reckon he would wear... See what he kind of looks like. He's wearing a bit of a tuxedo, so I reckon he'll have a little tie.
He fits in with your dapper animals. You have dapper, well-dressed animals.
There we go. And I don't think he would take any nonsense.
No, I think
I think he'd be quite a stern.
He is.
See, now I might have to make him a cameo in one of the stories. So Mo's cat might. So if anybody else has got any pets,
is there anyone who wants to request
to have as a cameo in a future book?
Yeah.
So
I love that. It's sometimes just nice to, I don't know, just see it in a different way. But he's great, and he looks like he's got a story behind him. He's fantastic.
I think so. He's quite hard-boiled, I think.
Yeah. Oh, somebody says draw a fish. Oh, there's a couple of fish in the there's one big fish in the story, Barry Barracuda.
But he's one of my favorite characters. That's Barry, who I think is hilarious. So I'm going to get my copy of the book so I can remember how to draw him, because sometimes
I love Barry.
If I haven't drawn a character for a while, I do forget what they look like. Yeah. And it's not cheating, it's reference. So.
You want them to look the same every time, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you say, you get so used to drawing certain characters, you just so he's a very big fish.
Yeah. Barracudas are massive. They're really, really big. And they've got big, scary, pointy teeth.
They are really freaky looking. But Barry he's a lovely barracuda. He's so nice. So, and then he's
one of those, he looks really intimidating, so everyone's terrified of him, but
he's lovely, really. So that's how Barry looks. But I'll tell you what, I'll just draw how I draw a fish, and then I will draw a dog. I've just seen somebody say
I saw someone said draw a dog.
A fish.
I wonder if that's their dog.
Oh yeah, I wonder what kind of dog. Oh, I'll draw my usual cartoon dog, but when I draw a fish, I sort of
that's a happy.
I do a fin up there.
It looks like Barry has a crush on the fish.
Oh yeah. There we go.
This
story just writes itself.
It does. Barry, now we've got a love interest for Barry, but they've got to overcome the whole size issue because of barracuda and a tiny fish. All so difficult. Let's see a dog. What kind of dog?
How I kind of draw dogs. So everything's very cartoony with me. I do a lot of watercolor painting, but that tends to be quite cartoony as well. So, but I do like drawing cartoony.
He's great.
So this chap, I'm going to name him after my parents' lovely dog, which is Fred. So maybe Fred will pop up at some point. Sorry, I'm just giving him a lovely pair of pants.
Yeah, Fred in the Fred pants. So we're coming to the end of the drawing bit, but we have time for questions, and we wanted people to ask us anything. So if you wanted to know anything about how Jess and I did the book, how you do a graphic novel. Maybe some of you guys want to actually do your own graphic novel, and you can ask questions about like how you storyboard that and do stuff, or how we got started, like how Jess got started drawing, how I got started writing. Just put them in the chat or put them in the comments, and then we can answer your questions and see what's going on. A lot of times people start off by asking how we came up with the idea of it. So
oh, that's a good, that's a good one, I think.
So
and it's a great story as well.
It's a random story. So this book started as a typo. My agent sent me an email saying I was typing a letter and I wrote anonymous instead of anonymous. Anonymous meaning, you know, you don't know who it is. And she said, anonymous, that might be funny. So I wrote like 5 chapters of a book about this character called Anonymous, who was a spy. And it wasn't a very good book, if I'm honest. It just was not a very good book because mice are innately just kind of good at being sneaky anyway. So a mouse that's a spy, like a mouse could be in the room with you right now and you wouldn't know it. It could be listening on your conversation and you wouldn't know it. So it just wasn't funny. It was anonymous. And it was like, okay, but most mice are generally anonymous. So I put the book away and I didn't think about it for a while. And then I just had this brainwave where I went, anonymous, not anonymous. What if the master of disguise spy was a 7-foot tall, gigantic moose and you still didn't notice that he was in the room and you still didn't know that he was spying on you? And that's funny because it's kind of hard to hide a 7-foot moose, which we managed to do in the book a lot. The disguises that Jess has for Anonymous are just hysterical. So he does come across as anything, but you don't know where you're going to get your ideas from. Oh, someone else says, do you have advice for aspiring writers and artists? So do you have any advice, Jess, for maybe we could put a shot of us. Is there a gallery view where everyone could see? There we go.
Yeah, I'd say if you want to be an artist or a cartoonist, or if you want to illustrate books, just draw as much as you can and just practice and, you know, draw anything and everything. I mean, you could, I keep lots of sketchbooks, which I think are fantastic because you don't have to show them to anyone. So don't worry about sharing your work, but you can draw anything. You can draw your pets, you could draw you as different characters. I like doing diary comics. So sometimes if something particularly funny has happened during the day, I quite like to draw it. And yeah, just keep drawing and always keep it fun. If you ever stop having fun when you're drawing and you think, oh, this is terrible, or oh, this isn't good enough to put on social media, try not to think about that. Don't compare yourself to other people. I think just draw because you enjoy it. And then everything will kind of slot into place as you get a bit older and do everything. But I've been drawing since I was really young, and I actually do have some of my books from when I was like 6 and 7 with my drawings in. So I just keep drawing and just keep enjoying it is one of my
I think
my big bits of advice.
Yeah. That's great because it keeps, as long as you're having fun with it, and don't be afraid to show your stuff to people. I think that with writing too, like share your writing. Don't just keep it on your computer in your notebook. And writers have notebooks too. We have notebook. Like if I'm sitting on the bus and I hear somebody say something funny, I'll write it down. I'm always kind of squirreling stuff away in my notebooks. But
the same with a sketchbook, really. Yeah, if you hear funny things, totally.
Share it with somebody. If you write something, share it with somebody, because it could be that you've written, a funny scene and your friend is really good at drawing, and then you could turn it into a comic strip yourself and then share it, or vice versa. You could come up with a really funny character, and then someone else could write a funny scene about that character because you've drawn this elephant who walks around on stilts or whatever it is, and then someone goes, oh, I know a story. I could make up a story about that. So,
and I think actually that goes very well with another question that's come up. What's your favorite part of collaborating? And exactly what you've just said. You could come up with such a strange idea and get somebody else to draw it, and it's so much fun working with another person. So I think I have such an idea of what the characters look like when I draw them.
Yeah.
And it's always a bit nerve-wracking when I have to show Mo, because I'm like, oh, is she going to like them? Is this how she thought that Newt was going to look? And I think, yeah, it makes you think in a different way when you collaborate with people. It kind of, you do things that you might not have done before, which is what I always enjoy. Yeah.
And things are better than each of the individual things. So I could have an idea and Jess could have an idea, but if you stick them together, it turns into this third idea that is funnier or wackier than anything independently we could have thought of.
No, but that's such a good way of putting it. Yeah, it becomes something completely different.
Yeah,
so
it kind of is better than the sum of its parts. It just becomes this this different thing that, you know, idea 1 and idea 2 leads to idea 3, which is like we both go, yes. Yeah. that's what it should be.
That is always one of the best bits when you both have an idea and it just works. And oh no, it really is. It really is. So and work with your friends. Honestly, if somebody's a better writer than they are a drawer and vice versa, you know, you've already got the perfect team, really.
Yeah. Because it is so exciting. Like we're working on secret. We're working on book 2 of Agent Moose. Dun dun dun. which doesn't come out till next year, but obviously it takes a long time to make a book, so you have to get stuff done. So a couple of months ago, we had done the script, and Jess sent us the roughs of how it was all laid out, and it's the first time I saw some of the characters and how they looked. And I was doing, like, I was working or I had a family thing or whatever, and I saw that the inbox, I saw it came into my inbox, and I was going nuts for like an hour going, I want to see what it looks like, because it's so cool to see. You know, I was sitting in my bedroom coming up with these characters on my own, and then suddenly they're these 3-dimensional living things, and they've come out of Jess's head.
Oh yeah, believe it. I draw characters so many times, they do kind of become real. Yeah, and that's the thing. Yeah, that makes it fun. But I've just seen a really cool question. Yeah. Ooh. I'll let you take this one, Mo.
If Agent Moose weren't a moose, what animal would you make it and why? So
you know what? I'm gonna draw the animal that I would make Agent Moose if he wasn't a moose.
Cool.
So, but if I'll start drawing this, but if you
I think he would have to be something kind of big, because the whole joke is that he's, you know, a big Agent Moose. So maybe like a hippo. Agent Moose is a big galumphing hippo, or like a giant giraffe or something. Oh, you're doing the aquatic version.
Yeah. Agent Moose / shark.
Agent Moose as a great white shark. I love it. So you know what you could have there, because I bet you there is a special branch of Woodland HQ that is actually like Aqua HQ that where there are agent sharks. I bet you there are agent sharks out there, and they, you know, if the series goes on, there might be a guest star.
Yeah. I love drawing sharks. So, you know, if you ever want to do an underwater one, you know.
He looks a bit more like a James Bond shark, though. He looks a bit like, you know.
Actually, I give him a James Bond, like, there we go.
Yes, yeah, he looks a bit like, my name's Shark, Agent Shark. Yeah, the kind of, so I think, well, you know, it'd be good to have, Agent Moose does have some arch enemies and stuff, so it'd be good to have him in there, like, or someone he has to work with. Oh, there's another question. What books inspired you to be a writer and an illustrator? Can I do this one first, because one comes to my head straight away.
Yeah, go for it.
Roald Dahl, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I read that when I was a kid, and I don't think I'd ever read a really funny book before. I'd read, you know, books that were like, oh, this is very interesting, or this is very serious, or whatever. And I just laughed during a book. And I didn't know that I could laugh at a book in the same way that I laughed at cartoons on TV. And that was the first book that made me laugh at a book. And then I read Matilda and other things. And I was like, oh, I like the laughing thing. I like this. And then I got older and I read more. And then I got into, when I was like 11 or 12, Douglas Adams and the Hitchhiker's Guide series. And then sci-fi, which is my other big thing. I'm a huge sci-fi nut.
Wow.
Nerd. Star Trek, Doctor Who, everything.
Star Trek, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So then funny sci-fi was like, brilliant. So what book did it for you, Jess? What was your?
Oh, I don't know. Growing up, I read all the time Roald Dahl. Yeah. Huge influence. And there was an illustrator, I think he was a British illustrator called Joseph Cartwright. He did a series of books called What a Mess. And they were about this dog. Brilliant illustrations, and that was a really big influence for me. I watched a lot of cartoons, played a lot of video games growing up, and they kind of influenced me. But yeah, and then I started to get into comics. I got into X-Men really big in my teens, and then that led me to discover different non-superhero comics. So kind of quite a lot, really, a lot of British stuff. I don't know if a lot of the American viewers would know. The Beano is one of the longest running comics in the UK. Got that as a kid. I now actually write for the Beano, which is very surreal, writing for a comic I read growing up. And actually one of the other artists that sometimes writes for the Beano, I'm quite good friends with now, but I actually read his stuff when I was growing up. So it's really surreal because it's kind of like, you're my friend, but you're my hero too. And it's sort of, it's great. It's really great.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh, there's another. Oh, this is very nice of someone to say. You guys are really funny. What else are you working on together? That's very nice. Thank you very much. Well, we are, as we said, we're working on Agent Moose 2. Yay. So
much fun.
New and exciting adventures, and we get to see some family members of Agent Moose.
Possibly my favorite new character.
And there's a new villain. There's a new villain, and they're full on. It's quite good. So yeah, so we're working on that, and then independently we're probably working on other things. I'm working on, this is the only graphic novel I'm working on, but I'm working on fiction books as well. I've got a new Fantastically Evil Vampire Pet coming out next year.
Awesome.
So that, and Jess, you have a book coming out in like a month or two.
Yes, I've actually got a couple of recommendations, just because these are books I love at the moment and I think people would really enjoy. So the first series, I'll hold it up here, sorry, I was using my other camera. It's called the Hilda series. It's actually a show on Netflix at the minute, which is fantastic. I would highly recommend it, but the graphic novels are brilliant. Really lovely illustrations, really funny. So that's one of my favorites. Another one I absolutely love, Mike Lowry, and he's got this absolutely fantastic book out, Everything Awesome About Dinosaurs. And I kind of bought it to share with my son, but I end up stealing it half the time because it's just fantastic. And he's got one coming out about sharks soon. Yay!
Oh, cool.
And then I'll just do a very quick plug. This is a book I've drawn, which is coming out in the UK in a couple of weeks' time, and it's actually coming out in the US, I think next March, and it's called A Day in the Life of a Pooh, a New, or GNU, I never know how to say it, and it's like a very fun science book it's got lots of comics about the human body, nature, lots of really cool stuff. So I'm really, really excited about that book too. And how about
cool.
You, Mo? What awesome recommendations have you got?
So my next one, the Fantastically Evil Vampire Pet with Fang, who is loosely based on my own vampire kitten who you've already met. It's coming out. There's loads of good fiction books and stuff that are out. Do you know The Train to Impossible Places? I think that's really cool. That's a great book that's out. It's PJ Bell. And there's the newest one of those is out and is awesome. And it's very fast-paced adventure. And just loads of Bad Mermaid series, the Wells and Wong mysteries, just loads of cool.
There's too many.
There's
Too
so
many
much.
books.
There's so many books coming out, but it's worth just kind of scrolling through what the recommendations are and stuff. If you're,
I do
if
that
you're
all
in
the
an
time.
actual bookshop, go in the actual bookshop and browse around the tables and stuff. Because I think sometimes you just happen across a book and you pick it up by the cover and you think the cover can really draw you in.
Oh,
There's sometimes
completely.
it's worth taking a chance on a book that's out of your, I know some people are like, I only read about ponies, or I only read about space, or I only read about this or whatever. But sometimes a cover can draw you in and you're like, oh, I don't normally pick up that book, but that's cool. So I think take a chance on something that just grabs you by its cover.
That's really good advice.
Yeah. Take a chance on a new book.
Yeah. Awesome.
So thank you very much. I think it's time we've got to wrap up, and you guys have to head off, and Jess and I have to. It's late for us here. It's like 5 hours later, 6 hours later for us.
It is my bedtime.
It's
now,
our bedtime. It's our bedtime.
Yeah.
We get tucked into bed. The cat will tuck me into bed. It'll be fine. So don't. If you look on, you can find Agent Moose on Barnes and Noble on bn.com. You can buy it right online. You can buy it in the stores. So please do. You can find the information for is going to be put in the chats and stuff about the website that you can download all our stuff from. For there's extra content that is in the, that you can.
There's some brilliant. You can cut out Agent Moose and Alfred and give them different disguises as well, which is really cool.
And that's on agentmoosebooks.com. You can do that. So so you can do that. And if you want to send us any of your drawings that you drew, I drew. So this is my Alfred that I drew.
I love him.
And now you know why Jess draws the books and not me. And this is my Agent Moose.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's so good.
So if you guys had fun drawing Agent Moose and Alfred or Newt or somebody else or whatever, and you want to tweet them, Jess and I are both on Twitter, on Facebook or whatever, and share it with us, because we'd love to see them.
I would. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. You have been awesome. You were fantastic deputies as well. We salute you as Moose. We salute you. And thank you so much. You guys have been absolutely moose-tastic.